Today we're talking about smooth animations. I don't know, but video editing can be easy. These animations you see, it's just basic stuff. And that is why I made a YouTube tutorial. Link is in my bio, go check it out. In this video, the first part covers the theory and the second part is a breakdown of a reel. If you want to follow along, the project file is linked in the description. Let's start with the fundamentals. There are three ways to display an object. It can appear on the screen, transform on the screen, and leave the screen. Let me play this once again. Appearing on the screen, transform while being on the screen, and leaving the screen. These three are the only possibilities, so you need to remember them because later on in this video we will make different animations for these three movements. Okay, so appearing, transforming, and leaving the screen. Now, second thing I want you to understand is that our animation, one of these three, can go faster or slower. So let me introduce you to a speed graph. Speed graph is basically a graph that shows how fast our transformation is going on at a certain point of time. So if we play this, you will see that this After Effects icon is moving at the same speed for the whole time. Let me prove that to you. So you can select these two keyframes and click here and go into graph editor. Now you may not see this, you may see something like this, which is value graph. I won't cover this in this video. So let's right click and go into speed graph. You will see that this is a straight line. So this means that movement is the same for the whole time. Now, if I select these keyframes and press F9, you will see that this graph has changed. So now it goes from 0, which is no movement, to the fastest point, which is here, around 2000 pixels per second, and then goes back to 0. Let me play it. As you can see, here in the middle, movement is the fastest. If I wanted it to move really fast in the middle and in the other parts to go really slow, I could do this. So drag this handle all the way to the right, to the left, and this one all the way to the right. Now, as you can see, this graph in this part looks like it's at 0, it doesn't move, and here also it almost doesn't move. But here it goes to 40,000 pixels per second. Let me play. As you can see, it's really speedy at this time. So I hope you understand how this speed graph works. So the higher this number is, the faster the object moves or the transformation happens. So let's select these keyframes, press F9 to ease. Now for this icon, I want it to go really fast at the beginning and then slow down. So I need to make this graph steepest at the beginning. So let's drag this one all the way to the left. As you can see, now here is the slow part and here is the fast part. Let me play. But I want it to go even faster at the beginning, so I can select this other handle and drag it all the way to the left and a bit upwards. And if I move this graph a bit here, you will see that here is the fastest part and then it slows down. Okay, perfect. Now maybe you didn't understand this speed graph, so let's do an exercise. Let me turn this text on and leave this speed graph. So I want this text to be revealed as the icon goes over it. Let me just set it up. So we need to select this text right here and make a mask. So something like this, okay? Let's here go into mask path and see where the icon covers the text. So I think here, let's set the keyframe, press a V and double click this mask. So here we don't see our text, and let's go forward, and here I can select mask, double click it and reveal my text. But as you can see, icon and the mask, they don't move at the same speed. So I want the mask and the icon to move at the same speed. To do that, I can select these keyframes, ease them by pressing F9 and go here into the graph editor. Now if I go frame by frame, I can see that this mask is too slow at the beginning. So let's make it fast. Now let me just do this, okay? So let's make it fast. In order to make it fast, I can drag this handle to the left. And now, as you can see, it's faster at the beginning. Let's go frame by frame. And as you can see, it's still too slow, so I can drag this right handle to the left. Now, as you can see, it's too fast. Let me play it. As you can see, it reveals the text too fast. So, what I can do is drag this right handle to the left to slow it down a bit. So, let's see, let's go frame by frame. Now, as you can see, this mask follows the icon. It doesn't have to be perfect, but here, as you can see, we can see a part of the text. So we need to slow this graph down, dragging this to the right. If you go frame by frame, you will see that this text is revealed as the icon goes over it. I think, yeah. So let me play it. As you can see, this looks really nice. I hope you are able to understand how the speed graph works. Okay, now let's go back to the first thing I was talking about. So here I have these three transformations. So let's turn on these other two and focus on the first one, which is appearing on the screen. If I press U to see my keyframes, I can see that these are the linear keyframes, and if you remember them, that means that this object is moving at the same speed for the whole time. That's not what we want. We want to select them and ease them and go into speed graph. Now, when an object is appearing on the screen from nowhere to screen, we want it to have the most speed at the beginning and then for it to slow down. So something like this. So let me do this once again. I selected the keyframes, dragged this one all the way to the left and this one all the way to the left and a bit upwards. So let's play it now. Okay. As you can see, this looks good. But we can make it even better by turning on the motion blur. Let me explain what this is. So as you can see now, it's a bit blurry at the edges. You can see, and if I turn this off, it's clear, it's blurred. It's clear, it's blurred. And basically motion blur just blurs an object when it's in motion, as the name says, right? So let's play this once again. And now we have a perfect animation. So whenever object is appearing on the screen or coming onto screen, we need to make this curve, which is in curve. Let me show it to you. So let's do once again. So F9 to ease it, and then go all the way to the left and all the way to the left and a bit upwards in order to get this thing. Just imagine a car coming at you. It's coming at some sort of speed and then it slows down. Just like this, okay? So let's go to the next thing, which is going off the screen. Now let's leave this and press U to see my keyframes and go here. And as you can see, it's again linear animation. So I need to select these keyframes, press F9 to ease them and go into graph editor. Here I need to make the opposite graph of the in curve. Why? Because I want it to slowly gain speed. Just imagine you start running. When you start running, you slowly gain speed and then you go faster and faster and faster. That's what we will make. So let's start it slow, something like this, okay? But I want it to go really slow at the beginning and then go really fast, so something like this. Now it slowly gains speed. Let me play this. Let's turn on the motion blur so it looks a bit better. Now, as you can see, it slowly goes off the screen, which is exactly what we want. Why? Because if I made an in curve, which is this one, okay, let me play it. Looks really weird. It just starts moving out of nowhere and then it goes slow. Let me play this once again. It doesn't make too much sense, but if I made an out curve, let me make an out curve and drag this one a bit upwards, so something like this. Okay, now it's rendered. As you can see, it slowly gains speed, which is exactly what we want because it looks more natural. Now, if you remember, we have an in curve, which is this one, and we have out curve, which is this one. They're just the opposite curves. Now, for the middle part or the mid curve, we wanted to make it like this. So let's select our keyframes and turn on my rectangle. Go into graph editor. Here let's select keyframes and easy ease them. Now, as you remember, because it's already on the screen, we need to make it start slow. So we want it to slowly gain speed. So we will do that by just dragging this handle to the right. So something like this, it slowly gains speed. But again, it stays on the screen, so it needs to slow down naturally. So we will drag this handle to the left. Now we have this. It starts slowly gains speed, and then slows down. Let me play it. Okay, let's turn on the motion blur. Okay, now it's rendered. As you can see, this is a bit too fast. So I want to drag these keyframes a bit forward and these ones to drag them out. So now this animation takes longer time to happen. Let's play. Okay, now it's rendered. As you can see, this looks natural. So you need to remember just these three movements, these three curves. So in curve, mid curve, and out curve. Now it's rendered, so let's play it once again. In, mid, and out. These three are the only ones that we will use. So whenever you're animating your object, you need to decide which of these three is going on. Is it appearing, transforming, or leaving the screen? Once again, let's go through a practical example just to make sure that you understand everything. So here I have this rectangle. Now I want it to go from the left to center and then from here to here. Okay, so I hope that you are able to see that I have two transformations. So let's press P for position, and here let's set a keyframe, here let's set it here, and here let's go here. So now I have something like this. Okay, this is linear, so we don't have speed changes. So let's select these keyframes and press F9. Now I have something like this, but as you can remember, we need to make some curves. So for the first movement, we need to make an in curve, and for the second movement, we need to make out curve. So whenever you're animating your object, you need to break down its movements or transformations to the basic three ones. So is it appearing, transforming, or leaving the screen? Now let's go into graph editor and see what happens. As you can see, we have two graphs. So for the first graph, we want to make in curve by dragging this to the left, and this one also to the left and upwards. And this one we want to make an out curve. So let's drag this one to the left, to the right, and this one to the right and upwards. So now, as you can see, we have a problem with motion blur, so we just need to go to this keyframe and drag it to the left. So now we have a nice animation, but as you can see, this rectangle stops moving, and that's not exactly what we want. We want it to move non-stop. I mean, in this example it doesn't look that bad, but whenever you're animating, you want your objects to move non-stop. So let's delete these keyframes and let me present you with the most important part of this video. Whenever you're animating your object, you need to break down your animation to the basic three ones. And for every new transformation, you need to add a new transform effect. So you have to go to effects and presets and search for transform and find it here under distort. And because we have two of transformations, so first one is in and the other one is out, I will add two transform effects. And if you go here into effects controls, you will see I have two transform effects. So let me rename this one by pressing enter, in, and this one out. Now as you can see, I have two transform effects. So if I go into first one, press this for position, press U, and go here, and in this I can drag it here. Now I have this animation, so let's press F9 to ease it and go into graph editor, make in curve. Okay, so now, okay, same problem with the motion blur. So now something like this. Let me drag this one a little bit here. So something like this. But now, before this animation ends, and as you can probably tell, it ends right here as the second keyframe, let's go into the second transform effect and set the keyframe for position. Now if I press U, you will see that I have basically two positions that I control. So if I go further, now we're around here, and in this second transform effect, get it out of the sight and ease these keyframes and make out curve. So something like this, and it's a little bit more to the right. Now I have something like this. Okay, let me explain you what I want. If I select these keyframes, you will see that these two curves overlap. So this one is the second one, and this one is first one. And as you can see, in this part, they overlap, which means that they both influence this rectangle. So if I play this frame by frame, you will see that this rectangle actually never stops moving. As you can see, it never stopped moving. So now, if I play it, we'll see. It looks like it almost stops, but it actually never stops. So I can drag these keyframes a little bit more to the left, so they overlap more. Now you will see a different effect. As you can see, like floating. So I want you, whenever you have a different transformation, to add a new transform effect. And by using these overlapping curves, you'll have a beautiful smooth animations. So basically, if you see any animation on YouTube or Instagram, TikTok, wherever, they use these techniques. So once again, just use the overlap. Okay, here I used a position, which is the easiest one to use. Let's do something harder, which is scale. So for the scale, we need to select this first transform effect. And if I go here and go for scale, you will see that it scales from the top, which is not exactly what we want. So if I select this transform effect, and as you can see here, we have an anchor point. So we need to drag it to the center of this rectangle by holding Shift. Now this rectangle moves, so we need to drag this other one also to the center by holding Shift. And now I think this is good. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Now we need to do the same thing with the out transform effect. So drag this anchor point to center and this anchor point to center. Now if I go here and use in transform effect, I can press scale, press U to see keyframes, drag it somewhere here and set this to 0, and select the keyframes, ease them by pressing F9, go into graph editor, make in curve, so something like this. Okay, and before this animation ends, around here, let's go into out transform effect and press this for scale, press U to see keyframes and go forward and set the scale to 0. Now let's select these keyframes, press F9, go to graph editor, make out curve. Now, I want this second keyframe of the first transform effect not to be at 100, I want it to be at 120. So we get something like this. Okay. Now, as you can see, they don't overlap enough, so this doesn't look as good as I want it to be. So let's drag these keyframes. This is second transform effect to the left. Now they will overlap more. Okay, let's drag these three keyframes to the left, so that first animation is much faster. As you can see, this is perfect. Now, let's change this second animation not to be out, but to be mid animation, so that this rectangle just overshoots and then goes smaller, not to 0. So let me show you. If I just turn this scale to something like here, we'll see what I mean. So I want it just like that. But now, as you can see, if I go into this second transform effect, the graph editor, we have out curve, which is not what we want. Because in this animation, this rectangle is already on the screen and it stays on the screen. We need to make mid curve. So let's go into graph editor, select these keyframes, press F9 to easy ease and make our in curve. So something like this. Okay, now let's play. Okay, they don't overlap enough, I think, so let's do it like this. Let's drag these three keyframes to the left, so now it's perfect. As you can see, it looks nice and it's like overshooting of scale. So as I said, it's just important to break it to the three fundamental ones when you're animating. And here this first animation is in animation and this second animation is middle animation. So something like this. I hope you were able to understand the overlapping. We can go to the next exercise, the final one. Now I want to go through an example just to make sure that I cover everything. So in this example, we will do basically everything that we learned. So this After Effects icon, I want it to go from bottom, middle, then transform here and then go out. Now let me align it. So as I said, let's just drag it here. And as I said, because we have 3 transformations, we need to add 3 transform effects. So let's add just one and we will duplicate it later, you will see why. So here, as I said, we need to find the anchor points and make sure that they are aligned well. So if I go into scale, you will see that in these transform effects, anchor points are aligned well. So let's rename this to in and just press Command D and duplicate it once and Command D once more. Now we have 3 effects. But I can rename this one into mid and this one out. So in the first in effect, let's press keyframe for position, drag it somewhere around here, then drag this After Effects icon down, so here, select these keyframes, press F9, easy ease, go into graph editor and make in curve because this is in movement. Now I need to drag it down just a bit more and that's it. Let's see. Okay, this is perfect. Now, before this animation ends, let's go into mid animation and press P for position, press U, see keyframes, and here, let's drag it to the right. So, something like this. Okay. Because this is mid movement, let's press F9 to easy ease, go into graph editor and select just this position and make mid curve. So something like this. Okay, let's see. This is too fast, so let's drag this second keyframe to the right so it goes slower. Okay. I like it. Let me play just this part. Okay, this is cool. So let's play it once again. Okay, this curve I'm okay with it. So before this second animation ends, let's go into the third transform effect and press P for position. Let's see, there is no keyframe. Let's press U to see keyframes and go forward and out. Now, with this animation, we want to make out curve, so let's press F9 to easy ease, go into graph editor and make out curve. So let's play this now. Once again. Okay, I don't like this part, so maybe let's overlap it more. Okay, this is nice. I don't like it. Now it's a bit of trial and error, so let me just go back and forth just to make it perfect. Okay, this is final. But let's add just a bit more to it. So let's go into first transform effect, go here and press keyframe for opacity, press U to see keyframes and set this opacity to 0. Then go just a bit forward here, around 10 frames and set it to 100. Now, with opacity, as you can see, this is in animation. I hope that you could see that, but let's select these keyframes and press F9 to easy ease and go into graph editor. If I make in curve, you will see that it almost has no point because I want it to fade on the screen. So sometimes you will see that these three curves I showed you, they don't work. So you have to break the rules and just, for example, easy ease these keyframes and see now this effect just fades on this icon. You can drag this keyframe a little bit to the right and have this effect. As you can see, sometimes I use the opacity because it's the best example. If I play this once again just with the in curve, you will see that it almost has no effect, because the first frame where we can see this icon, it's visible for almost, let's see, it's at 53% opacity, so it's really visible. But if I just easy ease these keyframes, it's almost invisible. So that's what I wanted to show you. So sometimes you'll have to break the rules to make it look natural to the eye. Now let's see, I think here, yeah, here starts second animation. So let's close this first one, go into second one, and let's add keyframe for rotation. Okay, let's press U to see keyframes, and when the second animation ends, I want it to rotate it for the full circle. So now, as you can see, it rotates. Okay, so let's select these keyframes, press F9 to easy ease, and this is mid curve. So something like this. Okay, but let's play it now. I want this rotation to start before the second movement. So before it goes to right, I want to start a rotation. So let's drag this first keyframe of rotation to the left and the second one to the right, so it ends later on. Let's see. Okay, once again. Okay, maybe just a bit more to the left and this one a bit more to the right. So now let's see. Yeah, I like it now. So it starts before the movement to the right, but it ends at the same time, as you can see. So something like this. Okay, so let's go to the third animation, and here let's add the keyframe for scale. Press U to see keyframes and go to the end and set scale to, okay, I see that I need to make this position a little bit upwards, so something like this, and set the scale to 0. Okay, let's press F9 and make out curve, the graph editor. So let's see. Now, as you can see, we have a problem. So let's play this once again. You see, this icon goes nowhere. That's because of the anchor point. So if I press this, you'll see, you can see, but these anchor points are, yeah, it's right here. So it drags this icon to here, which is not what we want. So with these transform effects, it's always a bit of a mess, and After Effects just likes to fuck with us. So let's delete these keyframes. And I tested it out. So if I use this second transform effect and now press scale and press U, see keyframes and go forward and set this scale to 0 and select these keyframes and make out curve. Of course, easy it. Now if I play it, you will see that it scales perfectly well. Now, as I said, it's always a bit of a mess and a bit of a trial and error. You just have to try. As you can see, I tried with a third transform effect and it didn't work, so I tried with the second one and it worked. In After Effects, you have a built-in transform effect, so you can just press, for example, S for scale, R for rotation, T for transparency and stuff like that, and try it there. Same thing in Premiere Pro, you have like motion effect or something like that. So now let's press U to see keyframes and play this animation. Okay, I want this scale animation to start before this ends, so let's set it here and see what happens. Okay, this is perfect. Now you should have something like this. As I said, whenever you're animating, you just need to stick to these rules and you will make perfect animation. So break down the movements of object to the 3 basic ones and just use 3 curves that I showed you. Of course, as I said, there's a lot of trial and error and you have sometimes to break the rules, as I said, with opacity, for example. Sometimes these curves won't make it look natural, so just make it look natural, because now you understand how speed graph works. Now let's break down this reel. I will not fully remake it, but if you want me, let me know in the comments. So first animation is this bouncy rectangle animation, and honestly I used an expression to make it, but if I didn't use expression I would do this. So line this rectangle in the center and select it, go here into shape properties and unlink size, and press the stopwatch to make a keyframe, drag it forward, then make it a bit bigger and drag this one forward, and here set it to 0. So now, as maybe you remember, we are just doing overshoot as we did previously in this video. So select the keyframes, press F9 and go into graph editor, make in curve and mid curve. Now if you're wondering why I didn't use two transform effects, it's because there is no size property in transform effect. That's why I have to use this way. Maybe I don't like this second curve, so let me remake it, and now I have to change the first one. So okay, this is too fast and this is too slow. Okay, this is good. Now let's turn on the motion blur. Okay, so we can drag these keyframes just a bit forward, and that's more or less it. I won't make it perfect in this video, I just wanted to show which techniques I used. So next one is this text animation. It just built-in animation in After Effects, so type anything and align it in the center. Then I can go beginning of this timeline, go into effects and presets and type blur and fade in and just drag it to my text. Then press U to see keyframes, and it didn't change anything, it just built-in effect. And now as you can see it's too slow, so just have to drag this one here and get the same effect more or less. Next is I faded out this text. I don't know, I just used opacity to fade it out and used scale overshoot for this green circle and this off text. But for this rectangle, let me break that down to you. So as you can see, first it's just a rounded rectangle, but later on it's a pill. So let's use this same rectangle, just go here to roundness and set it to 20. Now these corners are round. So let's select the rectangle, set a keyframe for size and keyframe for roundness. Then go forward somewhere around here and make it the pill. And just increase the roundness to some big number, and there you go. Maybe I don't like this shape, so something like this is good. Okay, and select these 4 keyframes, press F9 and go into graph editor, and because it stays on the screen we need to make mid curve. So like this, try to make it the same and select this pink one and something like this. Okay, let's see, it's too slow, so let's just bring these keyframes closer. Okay, this is good. As I said, I used the opacity to fade it out, but let's select this text, press T for transparency, set a keyframe around here, set it to 0, go here, F9, ease, and make out curve because it goes out of screen. So now we got something like this. Okay, perfect. As I said, I used the scale overshoot for off and green circle, so I want to remake that because we did that in exercise. You just need 2 transform effects and scale property, and now I overshooted this rectangle with size, so I hope you know how to do that. For this like whitish circle that's just here to represent a touch, I used a different technique, so let me show you that one. As you could see, it doesn't go in a straight line, it goes like curved way, so something like this. And I will show you how to do that. So let's make it, I don't know, reddish and make it smaller. And here, when this animation starts, let's select it and press P for position and drag it. You just need to hold command and double click here to align the anchor point. So now let's drag it out of the screen, and then here let's bring it to screen and select these keyframes, ease. I'm going to graph editor and make in curve. Turn on the motion blur. Okay, this is too fast, so let's drag this keyframe to the left and this one to the right, so this animation is slower. Maybe end it at the same time, but start it fast before, so something like this. You just have to perfect the timing. I won't do that because I can't bother. So let's select this shape, and in order to make it in curved way, you just need to go here into pen tool, hold down your left mouse button and find this convert vertex tool. So now with that, you just need to drag this keyframe like this, and you get this curved motion. So now it's perfect. Next thing, let's see. Okay, let's play it really slow. So first, as you can see, this pill shape goes down and up. I just used two transform effects to drag it down and upwards. So let's go here, find transform effect, transform, and drag twice. Go here, select the position, press U, then go forward and drag it down. Before this first one ends, let's make a second one. So here, and let's end it here. These keyframes are close to each other because it's fast one. Let's select them all, press F9, go into graph editor. Here, this first graph, we have to make it mid curve, and the second one is also mid curve. So we get something like this. Okay. And what else? Okay, explain this touch, this overshoot, and then this easy mode. Let me explain you that one, how to make it. Play it once again. Okay. In order to make this easy mode, I'll just use a rectangle because it's the easiest one to understand, but you can use anything you want. So you need to make your rectangle and press command and double click here to align the anchor point. So now this anchor point is aligned, and we need first one transform effect. We need two transform effects. So for the first one, we want to set the keyframe for position and press U to see keyframes and drag it down. Then a bit forward, we want to reset it, so we can press this reset button, and that's perfect. But this composition is too small, so let me just make it longer around here. Okay, and now I can select these keyframes, press F9 and make in curve, and turn on the motion blur. Okay, so now it's like this. But before this first animation ends, let's set another keyframe on transform 2. We did this in previous videos, so I hope in previous part of this video, so I hope that you are able to catch up with me and select these keyframes and make out curve, because we basically did this exact example. Now let's play to see. Let me turn off these other things. Oh, now we have something like this. I can drag this rectangle here, for example, and make it go lower and here, and then in this second transform effect here. Okay, so if I play it now, you can see we have this animation. And the next thing we need to add is rotation. And previously in this video I said that it's a lot of trial and error, so I did it and find out that the best way to use the rotation is built-in rotation. So let's just press R for rotation and set the keyframe. Now press U to see keyframes, and here at the last keyframe set, okay, I can see this rectangle, so drag it down just a bit more, perfect, and set this rotation to 1 full circle. So now we have something like this, but this rotation is linear, and honestly this is not that bad, but let me show you what you can do. So let's select these keyframes for rotation at these ease and go into Graph Editor. We want it to have the most rotation at the beginning and at the end, but at the middle be almost like floating. So let's drag this left handle to the left and this right one to the right. We make this ugly graph, but now, as you probably remember, it's going to have the most speed here and here, but in this part it's going to be floating. So let's play. Okay, perfect. It doesn't have to be full circle, we can set this to 0 and just to 180 degrees. So we have a different animation. So you can play with it, but it's this is the technique. Next animation is this text animation. When off goes off the screen as the green circle goes over it, and on is revealed. So I used masks which we covered in the previous part of this video, but let's just quickly go over it. Okay, so for the circle I used just normal position to make it work. So press P for position and go forward, and just did this. So it's not a big deal. You can just go here and make a mid curve, of course, something like that, and make it faster, and that's it. That's for the circle. Now for the text I used masks, and we covered that in previous part of this video, but let's just quickly go over it. So text, and let's center it here. So you need to select this text and go into rectangle tool and hold it down and find this rectangle one. So you just need to select your text and now go to mask and click on mask path. And for the first part, for example, let's say we want to reveal the text. So set the keyframe and drag this mask here so the text is not visible. Then go forward and make your text visible, and that's it. So we get something like this. Of course you can make it faster and add a feather. So let's add a feather of 20. Now as you can see, it's not that harsh at the edges. If I set the feather to 0, you will see it's a bit harsh, but if you add like 20 of feather, it's going to be a bit more nice. And you just need to align this movement of mask with the circle, and same thing for off. Just need to copy and paste these keyframes right here, press U to see keyframes, and right click, go into keyframe assistant and time reversed keyframes. So it doesn't work, that way. So let's set another keyframe. Let's delete this second mask and set another keyframe. Then go forward and just hide this text. So this is basically what I did with this text. It's just to separate text layers, but that's it. And we covered that in previous part of this video, so go watch it, how to do that a bit more perfect, because I don't want to repeat myself. Now I changed this background color of it, so let's bring this background here and make it better and make it fit the screen. So you just need to go into effects and presets and search for tint effect, then drag it onto your background and set the colors to something, let's say in this example do something like red, and this one to dark red. Okay, I like this. And now you need to go here and set the keyframe for amount to tint and set it to 0. Then press U and go forward and set it to 100%. Select the keyframes, easy ease, and make mid curve. Just like that. Now let's go to next effect, which is this circle becomes a background, this green circle becomes a background. Now let's make a circle and hold command and double click here to align the anchor point, and then align it in the center of composition. Let's change the fill color to blue so that we can see it. And here you just want to press S for scale and set scale to be at 100, and then forward set it to be some big number so that it covers the whole screen. Select these keyframes, F9 to easy ease, and make mid curve because it stays on the screen. So okay, this looks ugly, but yeah, you can probably see what I want to do. Then to change the color of this layer, you just need to go here and then contents, ellipse 1, fill 1, color, set the keyframe, and then go forward and change the color to something yellowish, and make same mid curve as we did before. So that's it. You can turn on motion blur and hide this background because it makes me nervous. So yeah, that's it. Okay, if you want to add grid, as here, I don't know if you can see, now you can see there's a grid. So you just need to select this circle and go into effects and presets and search for grid effect, then drag it here, set the blending mode to normal, then you can use this menu right here and set it to width and height sliders and make it look like you want. So I will use this one. Set the opacity to something like 20% because you don't want it visible that much, and you can change the color of the grid to, for example, reddish. And now at the first keyframe you want to select to make a keyframe for opacity and set it to 0, then go forward and make the opacity 20%. So if I press U to see keyframes and select these grid ones, easy ease them and make a mid curve, you will see. Now it's perfect. Okay, next thing is... Okay, we zoom out. So next thing is this animation. So this is again just mask animation. And okay, let's make one of these. So let's type here some text. Change the color to black and align it in the center. Make circle. So you can just press Q and make your circle. Now what needs to happen is that this circle covers the whole text, so you need to adjust its scale to cover the whole text. As you can see, this from top to bottom it's covered. Be like that. Okay. Let's zoom out and select the circle, press P for position and set the position to be here, then go forward and set position to be here. Now let's ease these keyframes and make in curve, because this first one is in. Turn on motion blur and see. Okay, now it doesn't cover our text, so we will use convert vertex tool. If you can't find it, just hold, maybe it looks like this, so hold down your left mouse button and go here and find it, then drag it so that this line goes over the text. And now it's perfect. Let's play. Okay, let's go to text and select this rectangle tool and go here and make mask. Now in mask, let's go here to mask path, press V on your keyboard and drag this mask here. Set the feather to 20, for example. And now as you can see, we can see part of text which is not what we want, so just drag this mask all the way to here. Now it's perfect, and when this circle comes here, our animation should start. So let's drag this keyframe, and around here we can reveal our text. It's going to be a bit of a mess, but yeah, like this. Okay, and now we can play. Okay, this is actually quite nice. And that's it. So you just need to use several transform effects on this circle to make it reveal multiple texts. But honestly, I didn't use transform effects because I wanted it to move in this curved way, which is like this, to have this ability to make it go this way. Or let me play now. As you can see, now it goes from top to bottom. And I used null objects. I didn't cover that in this video because I wanted this video to be available for everyone, but it's the same thing as transform effect. So you just need to go into layer, new null object, and then use this quick whip tool, drag it and connect it to your null object. Now in null object selected, press P for position and select the keyframe, go forward, and I don't know, make it like this. So now you will see that this all goes like this and like this. Okay. Important is that these two animations, they overlap. As you can see, this one starts before this one ends. So let's select these keyframes and make mid curve. I didn't cover null objects in this video, but if you want me to make a video how to use null objects, just let me know. It's the same thing as transform effect, it's just natural to After Effects. So going to convert vertex tool and drag it like this, and there we go. That's it. And I did it multiple times with text and the circle. Okay, I hope that you were able to understand. If you didn't understand anything, let me know in the comments and I will explain to you. Now, next animation is... Okay, here for the out animation of this circle, I use several things. So first things, I added the transform effect now, and transform and dragged it here. So let's say we use this animation. So before this second animation ends, I can set a keyframe for position, press U to see keyframes and go forward and set it a bit higher. Then ease these keyframes and make a mid curve, just like this. And we have something like this. Okay. Maybe overlap it more and drag this one out so we get something like that. Okay, make this one faster, and before this animation ends, let's set another keyframe in normal position, which is this second one, and drag it out of the screen and make out curve. Easy ease and make out curve. I don't know what happened, let me see. Okay, let's delete this keyframe and delete this one. So copy and paste this keyframe. I'm going to graph editor to see what happens. I don't know why this happens. So we'll just add another transform effect. That's probably what I did in the real video. Set another keyframe for position. Press U to see keyframes and go forward and drag it out. Select it and make out curve. Okay, so let's press U once again and okay, this is slowest animation ever. So let's make it faster. This is our first and this is our second one. So now I think it should be fast. Make it even faster. Okay, now. Okay. Then I use the size. So just go here and select the keyframe for size, unlink it. And when the first animation ends, I did something like this. No, the other one, the other property. So like this, just to build some anticipation, easy ease and make mid curve. There you go. So we get this out animation. Okay, next thing is let's see. Okay, this transition is, I just used some bunch of things, so if you want me I can cover that in remake video, but I won't bother with that because this is not animation, and in this video I just focus on how to make these animations. So for this text I use the opacity. Now some text. As you can see, I tapped it in few rows, so make it bigger, and I don't know, you can select the command and double click here to align the anchor point, and go into text and select this animate opacity. Where is it? Here. Then go into range selector, advanced, and set it to mode to words, and set this opacity to 0, and go set the keyframe on start, go forward and set it to 100%, And there you go, we have this full text animation. If you don't use After Effects, you can just type these 3 words in several text. So text 1, then go out of it and type in text 2. Then here is our text 1. Press T for transparency, set it to 0, then go forward and set it to 100%. And easy it. And before this first one ends, let's go to second one, press T, set it to 0, go forward and set it to 100, and easy. So let's play. That's it, it's the same effect. You can just play with the timings and everything. Let's see what's next. So, okay, this triangle, I just used normal position, nothing special. And for this like bar here, as you can see, most of it is not visible, and the visible part is just where the arrow is. So I made rectangle like this one, and then selected it and pressed Command D to duplicate it. Now you can rename this one to saturated, and this one to low. Now let's select this low one and press T for transparency and set it to something like 30%. Then select this saturated one and make mask. So just go here into rectangle tool and go here and select tool creates mask and just make some sort of mask. Now, as you can probably tell, this is what I did. Then I just used this mask, go here into mask path and dragged it from the left to right, and that's it. You can just change the colors and everything, but that's the technique. And just make triangle. You can do that by going here and selecting the star tool, make a star by holding shift, and in these points just make it 3, and yeah, that's it. You can add a bit of roundness, so go here into add and select round corners. Let me just find it. I can't find round corners. Here we go. Then go here and set the roundness to something like this. That's it. Press P for position and make it go from here to here. And that's it. Now, of course, I use different colors and everything, but that's the technique. You can just change the colors of this rectangle by adding you can just go here into effects and presets and type 4 and 5, find 4 color gradient, and don't add it to triangle, add it to saturated. And now you can drag these anchor points, for example here, and that's exactly how I made it be a little bit of. Then we can make it blue here and make it green. I think this is going to be green, right? No. Okay, so something like this, and that's it. Okay, next thing is which one? Okay, so I made this whole scene, which is this rectangle, this image with stroke, and these numbers and text and picture. So just use a scale overshoot. As you can see, it goes from being bigger to being smaller. and you can just group them. So for example, let's trim all these and start from the fresh screen. Now let's make star, then go here into shape tool and make ellipse, and make polygon. Then I can type some text, and select it, make it white. Always use off-white, never use the fully white. Trim them, and you can select these two, hold Command, Shift and C, and this is basically making it in one object. So you can press this second thing here and this button right here and press OK. Now, as you can see, just one row. So if you press S for scale and scale it, you will see that I can scale them all at once. So that's how I did it, and I just used two transform effects to scale it and blah blah blah. I hope you know how to overshoot an object. And this like sort of highlight effect, I used an effect called CC Light Sweep. So you just need to go into effects and presets and search for light sweep, this one, and there you go. So just drag it here, select the keyframe for center, go forward and drag it here. It's U to C keyframes, and that's it. Make it faster. That's basically it. Now let's go forward. Okay, first thing is this line, and let's do that one. So press G on your keyboard, and you need to go here and find the pen tool and click anywhere on the screen, then click anywhere on the screen again and hold your left mouse button and drag this line to be curved like this. Then turn off the fill by going here and turn off the fill, and turn on the stroke and set it to whatever you want. I'll set it to 15 so that you can see it. Now you need to go here and into contents, shape 1, stroke 1. Then here you can see dashes. You just need to press this plus button to get these dashes. Now it's ugly because stroke is a bit too big, so let's make it 6. Then as you can see, this line cap you can be set to round cap, and now these lines are round, so it was like this, now it's like this. Okay, so there we go with the line. And now to animate it, we need to select it and go here into add and add trim path, that one. Then go here and in this trim path set the keyframe at the end, set it to 0, go forward and set it to 100. Easy ease, and there you go. You have your line animated. Okay, next thing that happened is background changed. So let's add two backgrounds, this one and this second one. Okay, so now I can drag this second one just below it. So when I turn the first one off, you'll see that there is no background. This second background is just here below it, out of the frame. And let's turn the first one on. So I can add adjustment layer by going here into layer, new adjustment layer, and trim it. Then add transform effect. If I explain too fast or something like that, let me know in the comments. But I just wanted to focus on animation in this video, not the whole video, but I can do that and do it really slow. So in this adjustment layer, set the keyframe for position, press U to see keyframes, go forward and drag this one upwards, and that's it. Now select these keyframes and make a mid curve. You can make it really sharp like this and see. Okay, let's play it nice. So like this, turn on motion blur and make this transition faster. So it goes like this. Okay, I didn't do. Now it's good. The last animation I want to show you is this like brightness animation, where this screen is visible, like really visible, and then it goes dark and just this link is in focus. So you can go into After Effects and, for example, here use text to type whatever, and align it in the center of composition and trim it down, make it bigger, not like that, by holding shift and dragging this. Okay, and just select this text and go here and make it bigger. This After Effects just likes to fuck with me sometimes. So now you can make a rectangle. So go into rectangle tool and cover whole screen like this. Then you need to make a mask, so select rectangle tool once again and go here and select tool creates mask. And now just cover your text. Go here and select inverted. As you can see, this is now what we want. Select V on your keyboard and go into mask and set the feather again to 20, so that we have these soft edges. Then we need to select this shape layer, press T for transparency and set it to 0. Then go forward and set it to somewhere like 30 or 40 or whatever you want. It just depends which effect you want to achieve. Make a mid curve. And that's it. Okay, for example, let's say it was like this. And that's it. Okay, maybe you can make this, for example, mask, instead of being a rectangle, you can make it be circle, or you can do whatever you want. Let's just do with the circle. So select this shape and delete this mask. Now let's select this tool and select ellipse tool, and of course you need to go here and to select tool creates mask and create mask. Now you can select V and adjust this mask so it covers the text. Select inverted, press U to see keyframes, and now we have something like this. That's basically the thing I used. I think rectangle tool and just selected this here, and that's it. Now I hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't break down this whole reel. If you want me to break it down, let me know in the comments. But I hope that after this video you will be able to make cool animations without help, without tutorial. That is the goal of this video. Let me know in the comments if you like it. That's it. Bye.